Hey everyone, I just wanted to bring something to your attention. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of moral government theology. Now, this is a heresy that started back in the 16th century, but it's become more prevalent, especially with some street preachers. And those of you who are actively out uh, evangelizing have probably ran into people who are actually doing this. Now, the basic premise for moral government theology is it claims that man is born morally neutral and is always capable of choosing whether or not to sin, and his moral character is determined by his choices. Now, I'm going to read to you two verses, which is just going to completely and utterly destroy this false teaching. Reading from Ephesians chapter 2, among whom we also had our conversation in times past in the lusts of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. So they're saying by nature we're children of wrath. It's got nothing to do with our choices. By nature, we're born, that's who we are. We're worthy of God's wrath because we're sinners. Psalm 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And King David, I'll read another one, just to put this thing to death once and for all. 55, verse 5. Psalm 54, yeah. Psalm 51, verse 5. I've got that right now. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. So these preachers that get up and say original sin's a heresy, you can be sinless, it's a lie. This is why we need a savior. This is why we need constant sanctification. Once we get saved, we don't have a license to sin, but we're not going to be sinlessly perfect. There's a war going on between the flesh and the spirit. And even the godliest of people, they sometimes stumble, into the flesh. It's not what they want to do. One of the godliest men of all, the Apostle Paul, he couldn't wait to be delivered from his body of flesh and get his new immortal body, that would have the same desires as his born again inner man did. It's a very dangerous teaching because it can teach people that they can attain salvation on their own, that they don't need the redemptive work of Jesus Christ to save them. It's a blatant heresy, and I hope no one out there is following it because it denies the need for Jesus Christ. See ya.